Welcome to my channel on Discover. True story of Angela. That's me. Hey guys. So today I wanted to share my story. It's been hidden for 13 years. It's about me and a really bad abusive relationship. The other person in this video will go by the name of Teddy. So in 2012, I had just graduated out of school here in Toronto, and I had graduated to be a social service worker and addiction counselor. And at that time, jobs was very, very hard. I think maybe it was going through a depression at that time. There was no jobs, and it was really bad. Coming from the country of Barbados, I said, let me go to Barbados and see what I can do over there, seeing that Toronto had nothing here at that time. Just to change women's lives and stuff like that. I was passionate of making a difference in abused women's lives, just women in general. At that present time, I had 2 children for a previous relationship. At that time, I believe my oldest son was 17 and my youngest son was 7. I was in a somewhat relationship with a gentleman who we lived together, but we weren't together. Our relationship at that time was pretty much done, and we were just pretty much living for the children, and you know how that goes. I actually wanted to start a business, having a clothing store and a jewelry line, and I thought the best place it would be good to be in is Barbados. So I set off. I went on Facebook and I let Barbados know that Angela was coming. And I got to Barbados. And well, before I got to Barbados, there was a lot of men trying to approach me. And I was like, no, I'm not here for that. Stay focused, Angela. Stay focused. And I wouldn't give anybody a shot because I was still trying to respect the guy in Toronto that I was with, even though we weren't really together. But I was watching out for myself, and I thought I had it underneath control, and boy, was I ever wrong. There was a gentleman who kept on bothering me, named Teddy on Facebook. When I open up his page, I can see that he was extremely young. At this time, I was 33. I kept on ignoring him. He kept sending me messages on Facebook. He was an okay looking guy, but I can tell how young he was. And my son was maybe 6 years younger than him. And I was like, no way. Stay focused. Stay helping women. And keep focused, Teddy. Well, keep focused, Angela. I'm sorry about that. So at the time he wanted to meet me, I flew into Barbados, and I kind of lied to him and said, I'm jet lagging. Impossible, because everybody knows Toronto and Barbados time is almost the same. Sometimes it's an hour apart, and sometimes it's the same time, depending on daylight saving time. I didn't want to meet Teddy. He didn't seem like my type. He was too young, and I looked through his profile. He was definitely not on my level. But I was going downtown one day, and he persists, and I was like, okay, Teddy, you can meet me in front, and I give him the meeting place, and he met me. When I met him, he was totally nice. Never expected the unexpected. He was totally awesome, and I was trying to get some flowers print for my new business in Barbados, and he offered to pay for my flowers to be printed, and I was really shocked because usually, you go to the islands, someone coming from Toronto or some overseas, usually the men want to take advantage of the women and make them pay for everything. But I was shocked, so that actually caught me off guard. Then from there, after getting our flyers, my flyers printed, he wanted to take me for lunch. And when he took me for lunch, he paid for that too. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Maybe it's not that bad. And we started to talk more, and I started to see him in a different light. I was like, this is not so bad, Angela. Maybe you shouldn't judge. And he sat down, and it was all about me, and it was wonderful. I needed that because in the relationship that I was in back in Toronto, we never spent time together. We never seen each other. We were always separated. I felt alone for 7 years at that time, just alone, just being by myself, and I guess I was not seeking the attention, but it was really nice to have the attention finally, As humans, I believe that we need that touch, that reminder how wonderful we are. And I guess I was getting it at that time from Teddy. Later on that day, he walked me down close to my cousin's house, and he leaned over and he kissed me, and I felt amazing. I didn't feel that in so long, but I was like, Angela, oh my God, this is like, he is only 23 years old and you are 33. I didn't look 33, by the way. Barbados knew I was coming. I was like a little bit different, looking into Barbados. Everyone knew who I was, and it was a great experience. As I went home, I messaged Teddy on Facebook, and he messaged me back, and we were like, let's go to the beach tomorrow. And from there, it just started into this wonderful, amazing relationship. I couldn't believe that someone could be so amazing. As time went on, he helped me find my store that I wanted to put my clothing in, and he helped me painted it, and he would walk every day with me to help me with all my stuff. He was like so nice, and I was totally falling for this guy. So as the days went by, I had to return back to Toronto. I just came to set up, and I head back to Toronto to buy clothing and to continue my jewelry making. Teddy helped me along that way. I went back to Toronto and we stayed in contact. I think I was back in Toronto at that time for maybe a month, and then I was making preparations of buying clothing and getting ready for my next amazing trip to change the women's lives in Barbados to bring positivity. And I was starting a reality show, and so back to Teddy. I told Teddy I was coming back to Toronto. At that time, when I first went down to Barbados, I was staying by my cousin, and Teddy told me the next trip I don't have to stay by my cousin anymore because my cousin was really far away from everything else and I wasn't driving. So Teddy told me that I could stay by him and his family. And I was totally excited because at this time we now build this wonderful feeling of butterflies and amazing. And this guy was everything that I ever dreamed of in a million years. It was totally awesome. So on my trip, I came back to Barbados. He picked me up and he made sure I was good. And I actually came in and met his family. wonderful people at the time. They welcomed me. His mother was really sweet. She looked at Teddy and told him, "Now, Teddy, I hope this is the last woman that you bring here. I don't want anybody else at my house. Do you get it?" And Teddy looked at her and said, "This is it, Mom. I won't bring another woman here. This is it for me, and this is what I want." At that present time, I felt kind of something is up. Why would his mom tell him that in front of me? I was like, this is kind of weird, but I was like, hey, at least I'm safe, at least a mom likes me and the family welcome me, and at least he can't bring any more women here when I return back from Toronto, is what I was saying in my head. This is so awesome. I feel blessed at this time. I was really good. Teddy then later on had me meet his 2-year-old daughter at that time. Her name was Amanda, and she was only 2 years old, and she was the cutest little thing. Him and his child mother had just recently split up about maybe a year prior, from what I understood from him, and he was dating no one else. And yeah, everything was really good. I was going and coming, bringing in the clothing. We set up the clothing shop. People were getting to know our faces. We were selling. We were doing really good. People got to know us. I was talking and advocating for women over there. Everyone knew of who I was, and it was so wonderful. I mean, like, this was the best time of my life. I had a man that loved me and cared for me in such a space of short time. I was floating, and I couldn't see a lot of things because I was blinded. This is the blinding stage. And yeah, it was totally wonderful. And yeah, so for this is chapter 1 of how I met a Teddy, and how I was so in love, and how it was going so great. And I'm hoping that you guys stay tuned to see where this ends up being. This is year 1, the first few months, and now I am at year 13. I just want you guys to know what happened in the year of 13 and where I'm at right now with Teddy and what became of us. But this story is going to be amazing. You're going to be shocked of all the tales that happened in 13 years of us just being Angela and Teddy. Thank you for listening today. Please subscribe and keep this going. And I can't wait to tell you the remainder. Stay tuned for On This Cover with Angela and Teddy. Thanks, guys.